video 9 in the Miniature Hero series. Today I thought we'd have a little chat about brushes, and I would show you a new product that has come into the shop. Beesputty. There you go. I hope you can see that. There we are. It's a sculpting putty. It's quite highly regarded by an awful lot of people. This is the green. This is the triple firm green. And we've also got quadruple firm grey. And it comes in these little pieces, and you just mould it and shape it around if you're good at sculpting or just want to have a play about. It's meant to be wax-like. It's meant to be very good. Once you've sculpted what you want, you then fire it in an oven, 140 degrees C or 284 degrees Fahrenheit, for around 30 minutes. Let it cool down in the oven, and then there you go. You've got your thing. And then I think you can add more to it should you need to, and just alter it about like that. I'm quite pleased to have it in the shop. I don't know if I'll be able to get any more, but it's here, and if you want to have a go at some sculpting, or you are a professional sculptor and want to try some, you know where to come. So that's that. Second thing, brushes. I think it's probably one of the biggest topics that that one's off. That painters come up against. You know, we need a different brush. We need a good brush. Which is the best brush? And the only way you can answer that is by saying the best brush is the brush that works best for you. And there's lots of different brands out there. Shane was on at me for yonks, for absolutely ages, buy a good brush. He says your painting will improve. As with most things, he was correct, but I was using very cheap little brushes because I wasn't a very good painter, and this actually holds you back. Now, this is a case in point. This is a little Humble Airfix brush. It's an artificial bristle. Oh, you see, it's all fell to bits now, so we'll just wet that and see if it will point up again. But this is the case. It's okay. You can use this for putting base coats on, and not really have to worry too much about its care and preservation. But you're never going to do brilliantly with something like this. You've got to have something that's got a better point on it. And for that, you do have to spend a bit more money. That's to say, not to say artificial brushes should be disregarded. There are some very good ones, but you've got to get something that holds a good point. Going up, there are many brands. There's Artist Opus, which I've got some down here. There's Winsor & Newton. There's Raphael. I know Broken Toad make a series of brushes that are very well received by a lot of people. This is the Raphael that I bought. It's got a nice long bristle to it. As you see, it's done its classic thing. And this is the trouble I've had with this blessed brush, is it splits. It's been wetted and it splits. Just down the bristles like that, and that's really not what you want when you're trying to get in close on something. We'll re-wet him and just brush him over the cloth. Yes, he's pointed up again now. It's a nice brush. When it holds the point, it's a very nice brush. But this is the trouble. One of the big problems when you buy brushes over the internet, you get sent a brush, and you know, in all good faith, Raphael don't know any different, but it sometimes just doesn't work as you expect it to. Winsor & Newton have been making brushes for a very long time. Winsor & Newton Series 7 are probably the go-to for most miniature painters. This is one of their miniature brushes because it has a very short bristle. This is what the miniature refers to. It's not actually made for miniatures, though they're very good for miniatures, but it's got a very short bristle. And I've used these for a long time, simply thinking, well, it's a shorter bristle, it's got less chance of cracking. Let's see if I can get that in there to the camera a bit better. There we go. It's got less chance of cracking when the paint's on it. It will hopefully keep a point better, and you know, generally work from there. The problem is it holds extremely very little towards nothing of paint, so you're all forever going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And as Terry Cowell pointed out to me once, a while back, you only ever paint with the tip of the brush in any case. If you are putting paint right the way up to the ferrule, where you're making a great mess of everything, and you shouldn't be, only ever paint with the tip. And that is very good advice. So I've stopped using these now, and I have gone over to longer bristle brushes. Now that's where the Raphael came in. As you see, it's a much longer bristle brush. I did get a Series 4 Winsor & Newton, which is a nice brush as well. I mean, you look at the difference. That is a 1 from Raphael, and that is a 4 from Winsor & Newton. And let's see if we can get that in there. There's not a heck of a lot of difference in the amount of bristles you get. That's the other thing you find out with brushes. There is a 1, a 2, a 3. There's no actual set size per manufacturer. They do vary quite a bit. So after the Raphael kept doing its splitting trick, look, it's starting to go there again, you see, as it dries out. You'll see it anyway. I thought, well, I've got to get something. I've tried Rosemary & Co. Good brushes, a lot of people like them, but I couldn't get on with them. I found them a bit thin in the bristle. So then eventually I thought, well, what the heck, I will splash out and buy an Artist Opus. And this is an Artist Opus 1. And it comes to a razor point. And I love it. It holds paint and still comes to a razor point. You don't, alright, smash it right the way in, but yeah, if you put paint on the tip and a bit, a bit goes into the belly of the brush, which is the underneathy bit, and yes, you can stroke away and do very well. So I liked it so much, I've actually splashed out and bought a 3 from Artist Opus as well, and I got one of their dry brushes. This is the Artist Opus. I'll get this right. Artist Opus Series D. This is the dry brush. This is a small one, and yeah, it works very well. For small, I think that's big for miniatures. They do bigger ones, but I think that's a bit corky. If you're doing a big thing of scenery and what have you, yes, it works very well. It's very soft, that is. If you're doing just smaller parts and doing bride brushing, that is where you can do quite well with one of these little Citadel dry brushes. And yeah, they will work, because as you can see, there is a much reduced bristle size. But these are very good. You can also, which is a handy hint, and a lot of the pro painters do this, you can get makeup brushes that are used for facial makeup. They're extremely soft. They have a large head. You can trim them about a bit and things. They're very cheap to buy, but they put paint on very gently as long as you use them right, and yeah, a lot of people like those. So that's give you a very brief overview of brushes and brush technology and things. The only other thing I will say is get yourself some brush soap, and this stuff is very easy to use. Now this is the Masters from B&J Original. Chris Toad of Broken Toad also manufactures a very good brush soap himself, if you want to get some here in the UK. This, I think, has to be imported now. I'm not sure if anyone does keep it. But it's good stuff. It does actually smell slightly. I can't say what of, but it's quite pleasant. And you get a little pot like that. And all you do at the end of your painting session, take thy brush, wash it, stroke it gently over the soap. Add a bit more water to loosen up some soap, and as you can see that, we're just gently taking off a little bit of soap there, and it's collecting on the brush. And then draw it backwards over your hand, just like that. Always draw. Don't dig the thing in. What you would, because it'll ruin the point. You've probably paid 12, 15 quid for whatever this is, and as soon as you stab it in, forget it. It's not going to come back from that. Always draw back and just coat it in the soap, and that's all you do. Now if there's paint in the brush, even dried old paint, it will pull it out. It extends brush life immeasurably. It's very good stuff to have. Now you can either leave it to dry on the brush like that, which won't hurt, it'll just make a stiff bristle, or you can do a little wash out and then just on the cloth just drag it back again. Don't scrub the bristles round, don't stab it in, don't bend them or twist them about. That is your scalpel. You have paid a lot of money to get that hairy point and it is the thing that will enable you to level up your game of miniature painting quite considerably. Now, as I say, I bought these. Lots of people buy lots of other brands, and you've got to go through and find the ones that work for you. As I say, I'm liking these Artist Opus ones. They seem to be good quality. A lot of people swear by Winsor & Newton. A lot of people swear by Raphael, Broken Toad, and Rosemary & Co. They're all good. You'll have to buy and try and see how you get on. But that's really a quick overview of brushes and things, and a little bit about brush care. So yeah, you've seen about the putty, you've seen this. I don't think there's anything else much to show. So I'll wander off now. This will be a little quick video this time, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's see, I said Toodle Pip last time. TTFN, cheerio!